I focused on the residential character of the neighborhood, and a lot of the housing in the neighborhood is either vacant or not in a very good state of repair. So considering that this is directly adjacent to one of the largest employment areas of the city, first we considered that would be a logical choice for a lot of those people to be living. So first we want to attract new people here. And second, there are a lot of good homes in this area, but they're just a lot of them are lower income and they have difficulties repairing their homes. So second, we want to make it easier for people to upgrade their homes themselves so that they aren't having these problems with repair and damage. The first case study I looked at was the Minneapolis City Living Program, which is in the Twin Cities, obviously. But what they did there was they partnered with other communities, specifically they partnered with St. Paul to get a housing incentive, like a homeownership incentive program for lower income people in neighborhoods in the city. And this is actually, it's tax exempt bonds to lenders, so they can provide low interest bonds or loans to home buyers. So it makes it significantly easier and less expensive to buy a home. And for when it comes to repairing your home, they also give incentives. They will give you an interest-free loan for up to $20,000 if you have a code, like a city code problem with the maintenance of your home. They'll give you a loan for that. And that's for people that are up to 50% of the area median income. And then they also give loans to people that have higher incomes, up to 80% of the, or 80% of the area income, which is a lot higher. And that's a slightly less forgiving loan, but it's still pretty effective. And basically, I'm very impressed by this plan, so I think we need to copy it here, not just in Avondale, but the whole city. I don't think we can tackle this issue just in Avondale, because I think it's like more than just Cincinnati. I think it's also like a Covington, Norwood, just all the inner cities issue. And I don't think Avondale will be effective in like implementing some sort of program like this by itself. So that's why I think it needs to happen on like a larger scale. So basically, try to get this program working for the inner city neighborhoods and cities in Cincinnati's region. Hopefully that would lead to higher investment in the city and like hopefully like turning the housing into a working condition. And hopefully attracting people specifically from the hospitals and other institutions that are down here. One thing that we noticed that would possibly get the hospitals on board is that they are spending a lot of money to provide parking for their employees. This is an estimate from the Victoria Transportation Institute. Apparently garage construction on average is $15,000 per space with yearly maintenance of $500 per space. So maybe if they were looking at like how much they're putting into that, that would like possibly give them an incentive to aid in home ownership programs like this. And then also there have been studies showing that people with lower commute times, as they would have if they lived adjacent to their working place, have higher productivity at the workplace. And then we continue to break it down into 3 like target areas for different programs in the neighborhood. This one right here is around Burnett Avenue, and this is the zoo, this is the hospitals down here. And the Burnett Avenue plan that exists there would be significantly densifying that neighborhood. So this is just sort of increasing density to support that sort of retail there. 2 here is sort of an empowerment zone, just kind of getting people here. I feel like they would benefit from this service up here, which I'm going to explain, and I'll tell you that in a moment. And then finally down here, there's going to be a new light rail stop, so just changing the zoning to allow for transit-oriented development is the main thing about this area down here. And then up here, when it comes to neighborhood upgrading, we've proposed a tool library. And what that is it's a place where you literally go and you borrow tools that you need to fix your home. And they have had this in Columbus since 1976. This is one of the first ones in the country. And basically the city literally had a special library where you could just borrow tools. And how they did that was it was started with money from a community development block grant in the 70s. And until that point it was just maintained by the cities up until a year ago when the budget crisis hit everywhere in the country and they had to sell it to a nonprofit, but it still exists, so that's good. But we're just proposing that happens possibly in an already prominent but vacant building, such as this fire station on Rockdale Avenue. This building it's right here, and it will be on our proposed streetcar line, so that would be a pretty prominent and possibly usable building. And then here we just kind of show the factors of why it's important, like why people wouldn't want to buy tools themselves to repair their home, because frankly they're expensive and they have a lot of other things that they need to take care of if you're on a low income or a limited income. But now on to the park space.
Quickly going through the parks. The vision plan for Avondale wanted to focus on public spaces, a recreation center, and overall like unity for their community. So this is a location map just saying where the current parks are. This is the zoo and botanical gardens, so it was included in the parks. But the proposed park, family park I have, is on Baxter. And if you look up here, this is a highly residential area, and it would be an essential park for this multifamily use area. And then the community gateway would be on Reading by Rockdale, and then the recreation center would be on down at the corner of Blair and Reading. And then the overall concept of this is to create a sense of place, which would be sociable with the uses and activities, comfort and image, and continuing linkages throughout the community. And then for these parks, I have inspiration from Forsyth Park, which is in Savannah, Georgia, which is a very central location. Hyde Park is like a gateway park, which would go well with the creation of the gateway at Rockdale. And then, since we're not architects, I wanted to implement like the community center having a feel. It's smaller, but having a feel like this, and then the rec center being smaller, having a look like this. The importance.
I gave you one more minute.
That's fine. Overall, the importance of this diagram tree just goes with all three of these things: creating neighborhood unity, integrating community art, having a unique feel, identity, enhancement, connection. The gateways to develop and maintain current parks in Avondale, and to find a central location for the community gateway and community center.